Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom. And today I thought we'd have a little bit of a play with the adorable owls, the Celebration, one of the Celebration free stamp sets, and combine it with the aspen dies that coordinate with Perched in a Tree. So these aspen dies create this beautiful tree die cuts that you can see here. So I thought that was perfect to go with our little owls. So I'm grabbing that now, and I'm just making a fun Z-fold card, and I've just coordinated that with a bit of a Wash with Beauty DSP, you can see here, and then we've just done a bit of masking for Hoot Hoot It's Your Day, and I just thought it was just a little fun card to make. So we're going to start off with some die cutting and some stamping, and a bit of colouring with blends. So right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is to create our little owl characters. So you're going to want some memento. I've used Smoky Slate, Light and Dark, and Pumpkin Pie, and my colour lifter for colouring my owl, with a little bit of Pool Party as well. And obviously, because we're using blends, we're going to use our memento. So just ink your stamp up well, and then stamp it down. Now, the thing to remember, if you don't like, this is fussy cut. If you don't like fussy cutting, the thing to remember with these owls is that they do work really well with some of our dies as well. So if you weren't wanting to hand cut these, then just pop them through. Let's see if I've got them in here. Here you go. You'll see that the flying owl fits in our stylish shapes, as did our tall owl as well, and the little owl with the bow tie also fits in that smaller of the stylish shapes as well. So you could pop that on if you wanted to, with a stitch shape, if you didn't want to fussy cut. Always good to have options. So obviously I've made a big mess on the side there with my fingertip, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be fussy cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is just colour in the face of this owl with my light Smoky Slate. I'm not kind of coming all the way to the centre, but just mainly there. And I'm going to get that lighter colour by coming in with my colour lifter. And really the colour lifter is actually it's a blending pen as well, really. So if you just come over, you will move that ink, and that'll then give you a lighter shade for our face. The same on the tummy. Just going to colour it in a little bit under the chin, and then just use that colour lifter to lighten that out. I'm then going to use my dark Smoky Slate to come around here. Now I did kind of colour these owls in brown, kind of make them look a little bit more realistic, but I didn't quite get the colouring right. I didn't really like the effect as much as I hoped I would, so I've kind of gone for grey, and also it works well with the blues, particularly that we've got in this card as well. And again, just coming in. I think grey granite would work really well as well if you've got grey granite. I haven't tried it with that yet, but I'm sure we can give that a go as well. So I'm just coming in and blending over there, and colouring in all the way around here. So there we go. So there's my little owl. I'm just going to come around the outside with my light Pool Party. I didn't on the original, but I'm hoping that might work reasonably well. Just to kind of ground that image a little bit. And then the eyes, I just used a little bit of pumpkin pie, and I just came round on that bit. Let's do the beak. Not sure if I prefer that or not. In fact, some of that colour has bled a little bit, but I think it still works okay. And then you can just fussy cut our little one out. So again, fussy cutting, by adding that bit of pull party, it means you can leave a little bit more of a border. I know some of you have got super machines out there that you can scan the image and then trim it out without fussy cutting. But, you know, hey, if you haven't, it is take your snips and we're going to have, in next to no time, they're a reasonably easy shape, a little bit around the feet. That's a little bit less simple, a little bit of in and outing there. But as I said, if you really dislike fussy cutting, you can grab your die cuts, shapes, or layering circles I think would work as well. Something I sort of think round with that sort of moon image. There we go. So there's our owl. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of, this time, this is Night of Navy. I thought I'd use the Starry Sky for this. So this is a separate piece, and I'm just going to die cut pretty much the whole of that. You could, to make it easier for you, pop some double-sided sheet on the back, up to you entirely. So once you've die cut that, you can take those extra pieces, just to pop those out. That's one side. Grab your die brush, or you can always use a pokey tool, take your pick tool and just pop all of those pieces out. And once you've done that, just pop that to one side. And I know we don't need all of it, but I just found it, in the end, easier if I did the whole whole panel first before I did my blending. Because what you're going to do is you're going to blend a panel, and this is 7 by 10 centimetres, and you're going to do 2 of them. So you're going to do this one over here, and you're going to do the one for the front. So I have taken some Starry Sky, I've got some Orchid Oasis, and I've got some Night of Navy for my 3 colours. I'm also going to want some Smoky Slate over here. So I've got a couple of my brushes. I've got one for blues and one for greys. And I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper to work with as well. The other thing that I have done is to cut myself a post-it note. I've popped in the back here, and I've just taken a post-it note and I've die cut, or you can punch a circle out of that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop my moon in there in the corner, and I'm just going to grab some Smoky Slate and blend my moon. So I'm going to pop my brush into my ink. Clear the decks a little bit, there we go. And I'm just going to come in and make my moon nice grey. See here? And then I can come in and then pop this mask over the top like so. If you've got our masking sheet, then you can use that as well. I just find that post-it note, I prefer to be able to lift it up more easily. So my Smoky Slate ink goes away, and then I'm going to do both at the same time because that seems sensible, because what I want to do is use my lighter colour first. So I'm just going to rub that to get kind of, obviously to have my darker colour on first. So about thirds in each colour. So I'm coming in coming up around about a third. So having done my Orchid Oasis, going with my Starry Sky. Just blending that in that centre section. And then finally with my Night of Navy. You'll see that's really sort of deep, so coming in from the top now. Just blending those over. And as I say, if you decide you're not quite happy with it, then just, you know, give your brush a really good. You can see it. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of that Orchid Oasis at the bottom, which is a little bit patchy. Okay, so we have our two panels. Ink pads away. Okay, so we can take our moon off. I've got another piece, I've got a piece of DS Boot which is the same size as well. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a silicone mat. Just so I don't quite, in fact I've got a non-stick sheet here. And this one I'm just going to decide, I'm going to add some adhesive and then sort of decide where I'm going to put that. So I'm going to come in down these trees. Like so. So there we go. So hopefully that's going to adhere well. So I'm just going to try and get most of those trees on, like so. Now if you wanted to, of course you could pop another little owl there, maybe lift that up if we wanted, and have an owl flying through the trees as well. Yeah, let's give that a go. I think that looks, yeah. And then just come in with your snips on the reverse and you're just going to trim away. And you can see why I die cut the whole piece first, because that way you just get much easier than cutting one and then finding, you know, bits fall off, or you're trying to line things up. Better if you leave it to dry a little bit longer than I did. snip all the way across. Last little bit. There we go. Now my owl isn't in front of the tree at all. There we go. So there we have our panel. We're getting there. Now obviously you can now stamp on your extra panel here. You can colour it in or not as you choose. I'm going to use my little owl. Just off the side there, and just a little bit of just smoky slate coming in. Right, let's just do the whole of that in smoky slate. And keep it kind of almost monochrome. And what I'll do is keep it pale, and then I'm just going to use the colour lifter again just to lighten that those couple of areas. And let's add a bit of colour for the eyes. And actually let's match that up with the bow as well. Okay. So now I think we're pretty much ready to assemble our card. So you need a piece of card that is 29.5, so just a couple of millimetres, by 10.5 centimetres. And the scoring is really easy for this. I meant to do it earlier but forgot. So you're going to score at 14.5, at 22, and then you'll see that last one is at 20 is our length, which is 29.5. So dead easy on the scoring. So just a nice Z fold, and don't worry that that is longer, because it really doesn't matter, because it is the same as the other panel. So it just makes it slightly wider here than it is here, but you just got a standard Z panel. By cutting those trees in the same colour card as our card base, it then kind of looks almost as if those trees are just growing out and you can't see the edge of the die cut. These two panels just tuck in, and there's not much of a gap between these. So again, by using Tombow, that gives me a little bit of wiggle room just to make sure that I manage to get them in place. There we go. Because obviously, ideally, you want those to line up. And then I'm just going to add, I forgot to say the DSP. So this is actually, I've glued the wrong side. This is actually the DSP from our Colour Family DSP packs. So you just get, but this one's quite nice with flowers and leaves as well. So there's our card. The last little bit is some stamping, which I've done with the sentiment. And I've actually used both bits of the sentiment. And all I've done is I've taken my Starry Sky, and I've stamped both my Hoot Hoot, You're So Cute, and my It's Your Day on a scrap of basic white. And you're just going to come in, and I've to say combine the two. So just cut those out. So there's my 2 hoot hoots, and it's your day. Then if you grab yourself a scrap of cardstock, and you can just glue those into the corner, or even, in fact, looking at that, you might even, with some of these, some of the offcuts from our trees, and all I'll do is I'll just show you on this one. I just pop it straight on, and then you can come in and just add a narrow border by just trimming down, and that way you haven't got to worry about measuring or anything else, because you're just cutting. And if it isn't 100% square, do you know what? It really doesn't matter. Just a narrow little border. And once you've done those, you'll have those, and we'll have our other little owl that we can have coming slightly off to the side. Grab some dimensionals, and with the owl I'm just going to shape the edge there to give that a little bit more. Dimensionals on the back there. Let's use our minis on there rather than cutting and getting our scissors all gluey. So you could obviously go hoot, hoot, hoot. In fact, hoot, hoot, hoot. I'm going to add an extra hoot on the front there. And add your "It's your day." And there we have a fun card using our lovely adorable owls along with our aspen dies, which go together really well. So which one do you prefer? 2 owls? 1 owl? What do you think? I think they're both cute, and I think they'd both be great fun to receive. And actually they'd be great for kids as well as for grown-ups. So have a go. Don't forget, spend £45, get the adorable owls as one of the choices that you can make with your celebration rewards. And if you can choose me as your demonstrator when you check out, search for Heidi Smith, and then I can send you a thank you and a gift in the post next month. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and if you can like my video if you've enjoyed it, it's much appreciated. Bye now.